Steve Jones and I ride and write for Dirt magazine. What I'd like to talk about are the basic skills involved in downhill mountain biking, or mountain biking generally. There's strength and fitness, there are riding skills, confidence and equipment. If you look at all the top riders, particularly the ones that you see on this film, I think they'll have each of those 4 skills and they'll have them dialed to quite a high level. Whatever your ability on riding a mountain bike is, there's millions of things you can pick up off this video. Watching as well is really important when you go through it. Very subtle things, how maybe their shape on the bike and how balanced and relaxed they look on it. So all throughout this video is going to give you the key skills that will enable you to get the confidence to go and to go from like rocks to roots and do different things, and to ride them with confidence.
My name's Justin Abuchanan and we're doing manualing right now, and basically the key to the manual is finding the balance point on the back wheel where the bike doesn't tip over or the front wheel doesn't drop to the ground, and the way you control that is by using your body weight, leaning back and forth and moving side to side, and then the key factor is the rear brake. You want to feather that brake so you don't flip backwards. The manual is extremely important for all aspects of riding, just from street riding to going off a curb or up a curb and then downhill over rocks and logs. The sit-down wheel is different from a manual in the way that you're pedaling to lift the bike up and then controlling it with pedaling as well. The manual, all you're controlling is with the brake and then your body position on the bike. The manual is harder just because it's harder to find that, to get to the balance point where the bike wants to stay. The manual is more versatile when you're riding because you don't need to worry about having a pedal stroke to lift the bike up, or you're not sitting down as well, so your body is able to move around and you can pull it anytime you want. Bunny hop is extremely important because it's used everywhere just like the manual. It's a good technique to know to get you out of trouble over rocks, over logs and street riding. The simplest way to do the bunny hop is a combination of pushing down with your feet on the pedals and of lifting up with the handlebars and pushing forward with your body weight to get the back wheel off the ground. A good way to learn is picking a point on the ground, say a rock, and trying to pick the bike up over that. Speed does help, but you don't want to be going too fast either.
Such a wide variety of things to cover with riding skills. But what you want to do is you want to become an all-round good bike rider. You look at the guys in this video, and they're not just downhill riders. They're really good at lots of different stuff. Rob Warner, Oscar Seiss, fantastic trials riders. Greg Minnaar, Sam Hill, motocross riders. They've been really good at those sports. Gracia, BMX rider. That's the great thing about the sport, is that you're going to be really good at lots of different aspects.
Alright, I'm Nathan Rennie, I ride for Santa Cruz Syndicate, and I'm just standing on a very typical mountain bike corner, which is a 180-degree flat corner. I'm just going to take you through a couple of the techniques that might help you a little bit. Flat corners are something you often come across on a mountain bike, whether it be a four-cross track or downhill, and you usually find them in a 180-degree turn. It can be quite difficult, but if you nail it, you can really get a good feel for the bike. You really got to be confident in the turn. It's all about set up for the turn and carrying momentum through. Coming into this area of the turn is the braking area and also the setup area. You want to set out as wide as possible, but you also want to only brake in a straight line. So set up wide, brake, then off the brakes for the rest of the turn. When your bike's rolling, that's when your bike's getting traction, and as soon as you touch either front or rear brake, I'm sure you know, you've probably gone down once or twice. Right, immediately after braking is when you should start to lean the bike into the turn. You really want to keep your knees bent, you don't want to have them straight. Pedals kind of flat, but then you can kind of like lead your back foot down a little bit for a bit of control. You want to stay on the same angle through the whole entire turn, trying to get as close to the inside as what you can because you've already set up to the outside. As soon as you get jerky, that's when you can start to make mistakes or put a foot down or straighten your legs, or inside foot will come off. On the exit of the turn, don't be afraid to use as much track as possible. You can end up on the very outside of the track because you're going to carry the most speed that way because you use as much of it as you can. As soon as your bike is kind of starting to come up out of the turn, straight on the pedals to the next corner. Be in the right gear as well when you're coming in.
Well, today I think we're going to look at the darker arts of downhilling or bike riding. Things kind of people don't really talk about too much. So we do some skidding. Okay, so first we'll try a left. So you're leaning the bike over, keeping your body vertical. And then a right, so you switch your feet. Or maybe switch your feet outside. And then keep your outside foot. Keep your outside foot down. I think it's important to practice them to get used to the feeling of your bike getting out of shape underneath you at all different kinds of speeds, fast, slow. Doesn't matter what bike you got. Actually, the shittier the bike, the better. So our old hardtail with dodgy tyres, kind of hard compound tyres. Doing a downhill bike with loads of grippy tyres, it just doesn't work. So the rubbish of the bike, the better, really. Look at the beginning of the Earth video. There's like the Don or there's Will Longdon coming in the corners flat out with the back end going. And you'll see it's just the back end is moving sideways. The front end is keeping in a straight line. So it's just getting used to exactly what the bike is doing in those circumstances. If you look at like rally drivers, it's good enough for them. They come in the corners locked up one way then the other way. So if they can do it, I'm sure guys on bikes can do it. It's the international language of mountain biking, skidding. And another thing which I learned about it, it's a bloody good laugh. Really fun.
Bryn Atkinson, Team Makett's Iron Horse, here to tell you about how to hit this turn pretty quick. Okay, so there's a lot of support in this berm, so you can really just go nuts with it. First, the turn before it is actually pretty important because if you come in too inside on this first turn, you'll end up way outside here and then you'll be all jacked for the next turn. So you just want to get that turn nice and solid, not too fast, and pop out nice and early. Come up reasonably high, not too high. And sort of hit the apex a little bit and just weight the inside bar and your outside foot. And the sooner you look out, the better, because then you just start pedaling. And especially on a turn like this where there's a big straight, it's always good to have nice exit speed, so you can make up a lot of time on a straight like that. Yep, so don't worry if you don't get it first time, so just keep pushing with it and it only gets better. Another thing us Aussies work on a fair bit is some flat turns, because if you're comfortable drifting on gravel road or anything like that, you're pretty confident in just about any turn. So it's something that I practice a lot. Just cuddies is what we call them. So.
Okay, my name is Justin Havakanen and we're doing cuddies. Basically, you want a bit of speed, lean the bike over, and you want your weight over the front. The whole idea is to get the back wheel drifting without using the rear brake. So you want to have a lot of faith in getting the slide happening and controlling it with your front wheel. Leaning over the front is a key because it keeps the weight on the front of the bike and unweights the rear wheel.